Multiple pattern deviation. Here we can see an example of a multiple pattern deviation. This is going to deviate each line of a group of fields back to the processes where these lines were created. And obviously these could be from different classes of process. So the system uses the process reference that is stored internally in each line of the group of fields to automatically send those lines back to those different processes of different classes of processes that were where those lines were created. So let's say I have a class of process A, and the class of process C created two lines and it deviated them to this intermediate event. Afterwards, class of process B did the same thing, and the same thing did this other class of process, this other process of the instance of the class of process B. Okay, so now in the panel of the class of process A, we've got all kinds of different lines, and all of these lines were generated in different processes of different classes of process. So this multiple deviation has to send these lines back, but it has to send each line back to its class of process. So in order to do this, we're going to use a multiple pattern deviation. When the flow arrives, it's going to grab each line and it's going to send it back to its process. So in order to deviate to EMs in different classes of process, the EMs must be identical. For this reason, we're going to create a pattern and we're going to assign a pattern to all of these EMs, to the EM of the class of process B and the class of process C. This way, class of process A can send back the lines to any of those processes. How do we configure the system task? All we have to do is select multiple pattern deviation. After that, we have to select the pattern previously created in structure. And then down here, we're going to select the group of fields because remember the multiple deviations, doesn't matter if it's a multiple deviation or a multiple pattern deviation, it's always based on a group of fields. And then down here, we're going to map all the other information that we want to send to the pattern.